The only thing the release of the MLK documents did was shed light on the intense surveillance and harassment directed by J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI against King. Did you already read all 240,000 pages? You're amazing. No, you just asked AI, and as I said, AI isn't reputable. I'm not really sure. I mean, I get people don't like the FBI spying, but it seems again that before JFK, what the FBI, whether right or wrong, their goal was to. Now, obviously, the left controls the FBI and CIA now, so I mean, that's just that shadow government that's in everywhere, those communists. So, of course, that's been the problem, and that all seemed to come after JFK. But they had they had cause to monitor MLK. He had associates that were communists. Now everybody says he wasn't, but given the movements he was creating, and then given the fact, I mean, did you know about the airlift to America with Kenya? I mean, MLK was supportive of that too. Like, not a good look at all. I mean, he should have been about black Americans, but it never seems that any of these causes are about black Americans unless they just want to use the black Americans. Whether it's, the Black Panthers, take your pick, whether underground that says they fight all these race, everything against racism. Yeah, and they just use people and then turn around. And JFK literally pays for the first 2 airlifts to bring Kenya students here while screwing over black Americans. Did you maybe you should read the files. So, I mean, it doesn't say all that. I'm just telling you that I learned from the files that MLK was supportive of that. So that was a concern. Yeah. But all of these groups were tied to communism. I mean, these men likely got themselves assassinated because they were whether they were colluding or just, roaming in the same circles, who knows? But to me, you read it and it's very obvious that, it seems like some people were trying to work to overthrow the government. But I'm not really sure why Edgar Hoover gets this bad rap for wiretapping MLK. Again, though, I mean, it's because of J. Edgar Hoover that a ton of communists that thought that they could advocate that they have the right to overthrow the government. He got him put in jail. So that surveillance in those cases, is a good idea. I mean, we don't have those type of men around anymore because once JFK came in, a bunch of radicals got in, and it's just been downhill ever since. But there was good reason for the FBI and CIA to want to kill communism. Because communism was really using the black community any chance they could get. I mean, they'd use anybody, but definitely the black community, which is why they always had to push that, the white man is the problem and all of this shit. Yeah, they didn't give a shit about the black man. They just wanted the overthrow of the government. So because of Edgar Hoover, who, whatever people want to think of him, he ended up putting a big, nail in the coffin of communism. But again, then JFK comes in and it goes downhill from there. What do you know? But there was the way he was able to go after them, I believe, was through it called the Smith Act. And these were some people charged. It was an upheaval back then, but as far as Hoover goes, it says that in 1945, he instructed his agents to begin gathering information on the Communist Party USA members, leading to a 1,850-page report published in 1946, which outlined a case for their prosecution. As the Cold War continued to intensify in 1947, Congress held a hearing at which the Hollywood 10, that's the Hollywood 10, no different than the bastards in Hollywood today, a hearing in which the Hollywood 10 refused to testify about alleged involvement with Communist Party USA, leading to their convictions of contempt of Congress in 1948. Yeah, and then as far as the Smith Act goes, which is just crazy to me, these communists, that they want to use, but that's what communists do. They use your laws to overthrow your freedoms while they say they're about your freedoms. It's such a joke. But the Smith Act was a series of trials that was held between 49 and 58, in which leaders of the Communist Party of the United States were accused of violating the Smith Act, a 1940 statute that set penalties for advocating the violent overthrow of the government. The defendants argued that they advocated a peaceful transition to socialism, and that the First Amendment's guarantee of freedom of speech of association protected their membership in a political party. Appeals from these trials, it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. Many of them went to jail, though. Yeah, I not a good idea. Like, just, there's so many communist countries, just move there. You do this because you want to destroy everything. That's what communism always does. So people like to refer to it as the fear, the Red Scare. No, there was definitely reason to have fear. They were pretty big. Yeah, they had huge numbers until Edgar Hoover, put a stop to it, really. So I can support him there. It's only after JFK where the radical communists, they started using the CIA to go after the American citizens. Yeah, ACLU ended up supporting or helping many of the appeals of these people that were put in jail. So to give background, after the revolution in Russia in 1917, the communist movement gradually gained footholds in many countries around the world. In Europe and in the USA, communist parties were formed, generally allied with trade and labor unions. They always are. 1930, state and federal legislation passed laws designed to expose the communists, including laws requiring loyalty oaths and laws requiring communists to register with the government. Even the ACLU, a free speech advocacy organization, what a joke that is, passed a resolution in 1939 expelling communists from its leadership ranks. Yeah, but they just became communists, so it doesn't really matter. They did it to save their own ass. I think there's very few things the ACLU has ever really, the people they represent are always, the people I never support, but our country seems to have just gone with the communists and the left radicals. Following congressional investigation of left-wing and right-wing extremists in the 1930s, support grew for statutory prohibition of their activities. The alliance of Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union in August 1939, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and their invasion of Poland in September gave the movement, or was what gave to the movement. Following congressional investigations, or I'm sorry, I read that part, and because of Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union in 1939 and their invasion of Poland in September, it gave the movement added impetus. In 1940, the Congress passed the Alien Registration Act, known as the Smith Act, which required all non-citizens, adult residents to register with the government and made it a crime to knowingly or willfully advocate the duty, necessity, desirability of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or violence with the intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of any government in the U.S. 5 million non-citizens were fingerprinted and registered following passage of the act. The first persons convicted under the Smith Act were members of the Socialist Workers' Party in Minneapolis. So all of this eventually led to the membership in the high ranks of the Communist Party falling apart, thank God. But of course, again, then JFK got in, and MLK, and all this stuff went on with civil rights, and the communists used all of it for their own purposes.